All right, so we saw this video. It's been going viral. It says son surprises mother after being released from jail after 21 years.
Yes.
And we saw it. We found out he's from Philly. We started making the calls. Yeah.
Right.
Found out Malik Jackson, really good friend of mine. We used to box together. He doesn't want me to box with him anymore. That's a whole nother story.
Well, I trained with him too.
We have Raheem here. Let's get up for Raheem.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
Good morning, everybody.
Okay, so you were in jail for 21 years.
Yes.
Tell us about what happened, what we see on the video, you surprising your mom, and when did this happen?
Well, when we got resentenced, and everybody expected it to be a public thing. You know, in today's time, social media is the thing. So, my mom has been like a major support for me, and it was hard for her because doing it all by yourself, and then she had to take care of my son.
Okay.
So now, I felt like, man, I wanted to do something really big, something really amazing that would blow her away.
Yeah.
And wow, like I had the opportunity to. It's hard to get one over on her. I'm gonna say that for one, right? Because she's usually catches everything. But
Yeah.
I called my wife, and we figured out a thing where she would surprise her. She would tell my mom that they were going shopping for me, for some clothes to wear for when I come home.
Okay.
And so when she called her, she was all hyped that, yeah, well, you know, we going. She didn't know.
So you were in jail for 21
21 years. I went to prison at 16.
Wow.
So I was convicted, sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
So why did you go to jail? Because a lot of people want to know.
Well, there were allegations made that I had been involved in a robbery gone wrong.
Okay.
And so no evidence and so on and so forth. The trial went on. The arrest warrant came out, word of mouth. I was arrested, tried, convicted. No one ever said that I did anything, but that was the case. It was all right. So I was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. And
Did you have a lawyer? Like, what was the process?
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, that's important. That's crazy that you asked that, because we all have lawyers. They appoint you a lawyer in the courts, but sadly enough, they don't care. They don't care much. They get paid a certain stipend or a certain amount of money, and they're going to do a certain amount of work. Okay. So, the lawyer really didn't do too much justice. I think that it was a whole lot of other things involved with that, like a sellout, if you will, like my case for another case. So I ended up for us, when you are a child growing up in urban society and you have like nothing, you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
If this happens to you and you get arrested, 10 times out of 10 you going to jail.
I had a friend that was in jail for 5 months, right? And when he was calling me, he was like, "Yo, dude, they are giving out these years of life. Like, even if you didn't do it, they're coming down. Look, yo, the public defender is coming down saying, hey, we can give you 10 to 15 years." He's like, "Yo, I didn't do it. Come back. Yo, we can give you 5 years." He's like, "Yo, dog, I didn't do it. Go back. All right, we can give you 2.5. But if you pleaded out the first time that they said it, you would have got that 10 to 15 years. Like, and they're throwing people in jail that look like us, you know,
because they're making money off of the jails.
And you look at what happened with Meek Mill's reform, and the things that happening with his case are bringing light to what's going on in the criminal justice system. Raheem, how did you set it up? You know, you knew you were coming home. How did you know, and how did you keep it from your mom? Because you said it was kind of hard keeping things from her.
The parole process for us was like what we go through in there. For that process, no one out here knows. So The only thing they know is if you call home and tell people, and then they tell people. So like it was kind of hard because I asked everyone that I did tell to not say anything. Obviously, I told my brother to let him know. He was ecstatic. You know, he's been one of my biggest supporters. And so it was just telling the right people, aligning things up. A brother of mine, Dawan Williams, he was a pivotal part in this as well, alongside my wife. And So he works with the Philadelphia Mural Arts, and so when he called me and said that he had a platform, he said, I have a bunch of at-risk youth who may be facing what you just came from, or have the potential to be where you just came from.
Yeah.
So I want you to come down, and they don't know that I'm coming. So I want you to come down and I want you to talk to them. And I'm talking about not even an hour after I was released from the prison. It wasn't go home to mom. It wasn't go home. My wife came to get me. It wasn't go home to mom and do all the other crazy things that everybody assume that you do when you leave. It was go get the work done. It's work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
You talk about having this moment, me being free from my mom was enough. But the surprise meant more to me than anything else.
Yeah.
If you see the video, you see how she looked at me, man, like she couldn't believe it. My son, I have never been in his life on the street.
Well,
He said
how
to
old
me,
is your son?
my son is 20, soon he turns 21 in September.
So where did he think you were this whole time? Or did
He knew that I was in prison.
Okay.
He just couldn't.
But and they knew that I've been sentenced. They knew that I had made parole, but they hadn't known. There was no way for them to know. I kept it from them that I was actually on my way home.
So how did you reacclimate yourself with your son?
Well, that's kind of hard, and I'm saying this to the majority of the fathers in society who are returning citizens. When you get this opportunity to come home and be free and be back united with your children, you have to understand that, like, for me, for 20 years, he's had to figure things out on his own.
Yeah.
From a male perspective, he had to think hard and do things and make irrational decisions. And so I had a conversation with him yesterday, and although it seems as if there's a distance between us, it's a void. It is a void because I haven't physically been there. He said to me the day I walked out and surprised him, he said, Dad, we standing on the same ground right now. Right? That meant more to me than anything.
Wow.
Right? Because now my son is like, I got my dad. So I asked him yesterday in the conversation, you told me, and this is what most of our children face, hardship, and they justify certain actions and certain behaviors based on my dad going, this is my circumstances of this, man, I'm just gonna do me, right? It's a whole category of excuse with that, right? So I said to him yesterday, your dad's here now. Your dad is here and 1,000,000% committed to you. What's the excuse now?
Yeah.
There is no excuse. Let's move forward. Let's make it happen. So, in that light, as men, we have to be accountable. We have to be responsible for our children.
Definitely.
We go to prison. We do all that time. They need us. They face everything. It's not just about the talk about the birds and the bees. It's about life.
Yeah.
It's about life.
Raheem. So we're talking to Raheem. He surprised his mom after being released from jail after 21 years. Man, this conversation opens up so many different things, so many different things. How long? We saw this video. When did this video actually happen? And how long were you out before you came to surprise your mom?
Like I said, I went straight to the rec center as soon as I got out. Wednesday morning, March 13th.
Wow.
Right? And actually, that was 2 days after my birthday, right? So that
Happy
was
birthday.
That was more of a surprise for my mom because for 20 years she has had to deal with me being in prison all this time and away from her. You see what I'm saying?
Man.
So, like I said, not even an hour after I was released, after I walked out of SCI Phoenix, right, did I report to the rec center. Man. And so I had a few moments, not long, because the Uber was on his way with my mom. So I had to really just get what I had to get out to the young guys, and that's on the video as well, where I talked to them, and moments later she was coming. I had to hide behind. You see me hide behind the partition.
Yeah.
And my son almost gave it up, but when she turned around, I couldn't wait no more. I was right there.
Well, listen, dude. We appreciate just you coming up here 2 days after you got out, and just the message, hopefully, that you reached somebody today. But let's give it up for Raheem, man. Thank you for coming to the Quincy Harris Morning Show with k.foxx.